Good day, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining from worldwide. Thank you so much for joining this webinar on Zoho Connect's custom application module. My name is Argan, and I'll be your presenter today. The agenda for today, we'll be looking some session information for you. The webinar will be recorded and shared with everyone. The mic will be mute on for all the participants. You can ask your questions in the Q&A panel, and our experts will be sure to answer them at the end. And you can also record your opinion by voting for the polls as and when they appear. So the agenda for today is we'll be looking at an overview of Zoho Connect, and we'll introduce what custom applications are, how powerful they are in helping organizations build simple and yet efficient applications. And we look at real life use cases, and we'll demonstrate through one particular use case. And we'll also look at some of our customers and testimonials, all the different editions of Zoho Connect and their pricing, and a very interactive Q&A session, which I ask everyone to stay till the end. To start with, the introduction for Zoho Connect. So in today's fast-paced and interconnected business environment, effective employee experience platform is crucial for the success of any organization. Zoho Connect is a simple yet powerful platform designed to enhance teamwork, streamline communication, and engagement. With teams working hybrid and across different departments, it's essential to have a centralized platform that promotes seamless communication, transparent workflow management, and increased productivity. And that's exactly where Zoho Connect comes in. And talking about custom application, in today's digital age, the ability to tailor our tools to meet specific needs is more critical than ever. That's why we are excited to dive into the custom applications module in Zoho Connect. It's not just a feature, it's a game changer for how we automate and streamline our workflows. Custom applications basically are powered by Zoho Creator, which is a no-code, low-code application development platform that allows users to create custom applications without extensive coding knowledge. It enables individuals and businesses which can be accessed via both web and mobile, tailored to their specific needs. So whether you're an admin or a project manager, team lead, or an individual contributor, understanding how to leverage the custom applications in Zoho Connect can revolutionize the processes in your organization. Let's explore this module in more detail and discover how they can transform the way you use custom applications to build simple yet efficient applications that can cater to your ever-changing needs. So the purpose for custom application is to build efficient applications, like we've already mentioned, without extensive development time. And it can be easily tailored. The forms can be easily tailored, and it enables you to collect data easily. It reduces dependencies on specialized developers, and you can configure the workflows effortlessly. So you can do all of these with our key features like the drag and drop interface form builder, the approval and automation workflows, notifications, schedules, and our custom actions using the Luge scripting. Which again, all of these things we'll be seeing in more detail when we talk about the demonstration of a particular use case. So you coupling these features, we can get benefited in increased operational efficiency in adapting to changing processes. You can save resources by building in-house applications, and it enables you to digitalize and automate, which will contribute to cost savings. So we have mentioned some of the key use cases here, key use cases of custom applications here, like facility maintenance requests, grievance management, health and safety incident reporting, customer feedback tracker. So all of these use cases have one thing in common. So you can build your application, not just build your applications, but you can extend and you can change the applications as and when you go on, as and when the processes evolve in your organization. So uh, one particular use case we are going to talk about is the grievance management. So one of the top customers of Zoho Connect, Toyota Kirloskar Motors, they have used custom applications to build a comprehensive grievance redressal system wherein the employees, whatever issues they face in doing their job, they can raise it as a request, raise it as a grievance in this application, and from an admin's perspective, they resolve it within 24 hours. So we have heard from Toyota that the resolution time has drastically decreased in uh, uh, in their organization. And today we'll be looking at how to build one such grievance application using custom applications in Zoho Connect. So let me share my screen and we will walk through the application. Before we go into the depths of this application, I just want to give you an idea on what custom applications are. Of course, we have gotten the actual definition of custom application, but then basically a custom application, uh, can be developed in Zoho Connect in two different access levels. One is you can either create it for all the members of your organization under the company wall, or you can create it for a specific groups. So once you create it for a specific group, only the members of the group will have access to it. So in our use case, grievance management, we are essentially going to create this application under the company wall. And before we create that, I'm just going to give you an overview of what this application holds for us. So, and uh, basically, custom applications have three different components, three key components to any custom application. So, first is going to be your forms. So, the grievance form here holds some fields into it, like the email address, name, employee ID, phone number, and so on. So, this is going to be your main form. And anytime in any custom application, when you create a new form, a report is automatically generated. So here, the all grievances is automatically created when you create the grievance form, and this is a master report, meaning any submission into this form by any user in your organization is going to get collected as a record in your master report that we named it as all grievances. So here you have all the records, and that is your second key component, uh, reports. And then we have another component named the pages. Pages in custom application enable you to build dashboards such as this that is going to give you a nice, data-rich dashboard that is going to give you insights into your grievances. So, for example, when we talk about this particular dashboard here, so you can look at it. We have built, you know, we have shown all the grievances. And okay, let's get into the details of the dashboard later. Now, coming back to the main key component of the custom application, that is your forms. So here we have used the drag and drop based form builder, which again, we'll get into the details in just a bit. We'll just give you an overview of this application, what the application does, and then we are going to show with the example of this particular application how you, after this session, can go ahead and build such a strong application using custom apps in Zoho Connect. So yeah, the overview first. So we have the grievance form where we are collecting some key details for any grievance submission. So we are collecting the user email address, and as you can see, this field automatically populates the current logged in user's email address into this particular field. And this field is also not editable. To avoid human error, we have went ahead and made it non-editable. Excuse me. And we have collected certain fields like the name, employee ID, phone, category, subject, body, and the status as well. Again, the need for each of these fields we'll be getting into detail. But yeah, For now, any user can go ahead and fill this form from an end user perspective. They can fill it in this way: employee ID, and I'm just going to put in some phone numbers here. You'll choose the category of the grievance. In which category are you facing? So for now, we have set up the categories as HR and IT. So I'm going to go ahead and choose HR here, and let's say the subject as payslip not received, and the body as please release payslip as soon as possible. Now this is going to be disabled as well. Again, we'll see why in just a bit. So you can go ahead and hit submit. So as soon as you have submitted it, you can go to the master report where you will find the report that we just created here. Michelle at Zilka.com, name Alfred Newman, and so and so. To look at the detailed information of this particular submission, in Zoho Connect, we call the submission as a record. So you can click on it and it's going to give you the expanded detailed information of the particular record. So as you can see, the master report has certain options here. So we have the status as open, and we also have the ability to approve, review, and reject it. So in this particular use case, we have configured this master report in a way that at the admin level, each submission has to be reviewed before it goes to the relevant categories for them to take the action on. So what I'm trying to say is any submission, any record, new record that is created in this grievance form goes through two levels. The first is at the master report level, where the admins review the particular record and send it for approval or rejection to the actual DRIs. DRIs directly responsible individuals of the category. For example, let's take this record. It's submitted. This is a HR category record. And as an admin, I want to say, okay, I have reviewed this. This seems like a genuine grievance record. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to review this, and I want the HR DRI to take action on this and resolve it. So I'm going to send it for review. And as soon as I click that, now if you go back to the detailed information of this record, you can see that the status is changed to review, which was open earlier, now is changed to review. And only when status changes do the HR uh, get to see, or do the respective category individuals get to see the particular record. So we have sent it, the first level of approval is done, and then the HR now gets to see this particular record. So yeah, okay, they see that, okay, this is a particular grievance, and I'm going to work on it, and they can go ahead and say approve or reject for this particular record. So yeah, so that would be your reports here. Again, so here we have created these reports. In addition to the master reports, we have essentially created separate reports for each category. So in this example, we have two categories, HR and IT. So we have created two different reports for HR and IT. So any record that falls into this category, the respective DRIs can go ahead and take action on them. And then we also have another report that is called My Grievances. Essentially, this is going to be visible to all the users. So that can be used, to see all the grievances that I have raised. Hey, how many grievances have I raised? And what are the resolution for each grievances? And what is the status for that? So essentially, you can get all this information using your My Grievance report. So that would be your second key component of custom application, reports. Then the third would be your pages. So as we already spoke about, you can create powerful data-rich dashboard that upon one single look, you're going to get all the insights into how the grievance application has been doing in an organization. So there are seven grievance records in total. One is open and zero is closed, which is bad news. And we have another graph, like there are total 5 grievances in the HR category, 2 in your IT, and we have also created a graph based on the statuses as well. One is approved, one is in open, rejected, and total 3 records are in the review category as well. So that is your overview of the grievance application. What is a form? What happens when a new record, new grievance is submitted? How the directly responsible individuals for and the admins take action on this newly submitted grievances, and how the admins can leverage the pages dashboard to get analytics, to get statistics into your grievance application. Now we're going to dive deeper into uh, this application and see how you, after this session, can go ahead and build such an application. So for this purpose, I'm just going to create a new application from scratch. So how you can do that is go to your home page of Zoho Connect, you can go to your custom applications, and you want to go to the company apps, and then you can go all the way to the right and click on the blue plus icon. So once you do that, it's going to ask you for 4 different options: from scratch, import DS file, from app gallery, from Zoho Creator. And in this use case, we are going to go for the from scratch, and we leave rest of the options for a later part of for a later time. So we're going to create this application from scratch. And once you click that, you are popped out with a particular new custom application pop out. So here, just going to name it grievance, and let's go ahead and say 4, just to avoid any confusion. And it's going to ask you for the access level. Hey, where are you creating this application? Who is this particular application for? Do you want all the members of your organization to be able to access it, aka company apps? Or do you want it for only members of a specific group? You can choose the group from here as well. So I want to create it in the company apps. I'm going to go ahead and agree to the terms and policies, and I'm creating this application. Immediately after you create the app, you're asked to create a new form, the main key component of a custom application. So let's go ahead and create that. And again, you have so many options here to make things simple and easily understandable for everyone. You're going to go ahead and say from scratch. And here we're going to name the form as it rightly should be named, grievance. And you're taken to the easy yet powerful drag and drop based form builder. So you can see to your left, you have some of the basic fields, advanced fields, special fields, and AI fields. So let's stick to the basic fields for now. So creating an application, the creating a form is very simple, right? So first, I want to collect the email address of the user. So I can simply drag and drop email field, and it gets added. Very simple. Now I want to collect the name. You can simply drag and drop your name. And then we want to collect phone number. And likewise, you can collect the subject of your grievance and so on. And once you click done, and once you close this, you can see that the form is ready. So you just need to change the field name in your form builder, and we'll be ready. Now I'm just going to switch back to the already created form and explain you how we can go ahead further. So we have the grievance application here, and let's see. So in this case, let's say, as we already mentioned, we want the email field, email of the currently logged in user's email address to be automatically populated. For example, we can say this is michelle@zilker.com. So I will go ahead and say michelle@zilker.com. So this is possible, right? I have missed out an R here, and this is quite possible in an organization where there are 8,000 to 10,000 or more employees. It's possible people misspell their email address, and we don't want that. So this is going to hinder a lot of the workflows. So we essentially, from an admin's perspective, we want to make things easier for the admins and for the end users as well. So essentially, we want this particular field to be automatically populated with the currently logged in user's email address, and we don't want them to be editable. So basically, we will configure it in a way that this email address is automatically populated. How we can do that? You can edit this application and go to your form builder and select a particular field. So this is the email field we want to be automatically populated with the currently logged in user's email address. So we are going to go to the initial value, and we're going to go ahead and input one of the syntax here, Zoho dot login user ID. So Zoho dot login user ID basically fetches the email address of the user that is currently logged in. So we're going to go ahead and say, click that, and we're going to click done, and we are going to close it to access the application and check if everything is okay. Voila, we have the current user's logged in email address automatically populated in this field. So while filling the form, the user can still make some error because this is still editable. They can simply go ahead and say something like this, and then they can click submit, which can throw an error. So we want to avoid that. And we'll see in just a minute on how you can do that. So before that, in this is the already created grievance application, right? So before we see how to keep that field non-editable, I want to show you, okay, we are collecting the name, employee ID, phone, category, subject, body, statuses, and we are submitting it. Now, whenever a new grievance is submitted, I would say the category of the particular grievance is pretty essential, right? We cannot have a category empty because we are using the category and we are configuring a lot of workflows on who will take care of these grievances in the later part of time. So, and we can see that the name is marked as a mandatory field, employee ID is marked, subject body is marked, and the category is not marked. And we're going to click on the category field, and we are going to simply mark the field as mandatory. Now, when a user is submitting a new grievance record, they cannot ignore the category field, and that is going to make things not just for the end user, but for the admins, things a lot more smoother. So that is how you can mark a field as a mandatory. And let's say, okay, I want to submit a new record. Let's say Alfred Newman. I'm going to go ahead with the same employee ID, and phone number is not marked mandatory. So, and we're going to say the same thing, payslip not received, and payslip release payslip ASAP. Let's go ahead and say that. And I'm going to go ahead and submit a new grievance record, right? Now, okay, new grievance is submitted. The admin goes to the master report, sees that there is a new record, and they go ahead and take action on this particular record. So this is one way, but let's say I want to receive timely notifications, right? Some key grievances that cannot wait for a lot of time and needs immediate notification. So in this case, we're going to see how using workflows, how you can configure email notifications. And before that, we will see how you can make this field not editable, non-editable using our workflows. So we'll create two simple workflows. One is going to mark this field as non-editable. We'll basically disable this field, and we're going to create another workflow where we'll send an email notification each time a grievance is created. Let's go ahead and see how we can do that. We're going to switch back to the grievance application that we just created, and we want to go to the edit this application page. And here we're going to go back to the workflow page, and it's going to prompt you to create a new workflow. Let's go ahead and click that, and a new pop out is here. So what do we have here? So run workflow on any event in the form. So we're going to choose which form we're going to run this workflow on, grievance, and we want to see when do we want to run this workflow. Run when a record is created, edited, created or edited or deleted. So first, we're creating workflow where we are disabling the user's email address. So how we can do that? When do we want to run this workflow? I would say when I'm creating a record, I do not want the end user to edit their email address. And let's say they want to edit their own record. And even at the time, I don't want them to edit their user email address because that is very important. So let's go ahead and say created or edited. And we want to add a condition on when to trigger this workflow. I would say uh, when the form is loading, right? Load of the form. Basically, when the form gets loaded, that is when I want to run this workflow. I don't want this workflow to run after a user has submitted the record or during the submission of record. I want it to be before the form submission. When the form is loading, I want it to run at the time. So I'm going to say load of the form and I'm going to name the workflow disable user email address. Descriptive names are always good. So we're going to go ahead and create the workflow and it's going to ask you for a new action. You can click that and we have taken to the dilute script page. So we want to disable the user email address field and it is as simple as it sounds, right? Hey, I want to disable. Okay, let's go ahead and say disable. And immediately after you type DI, it's going to ask you, it's going to suggest you with the particular keyword. I'm going to say enter. And it's also asking you for the field. Which field do you want to disable? I think we'll disable the email field. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Now you click save, you click update, close it, click done, and you want to go out of this, edit this application page. Now, when the form reloads, voila, not only have we populated the user email addresses field with the logged in user's email address, we've also disabled the particular field. Now you can go ahead and recreate this for any of the field that you wish to for your own use case. This is the first workflow we spoke about. Now, apologies for that. We are going to create the second uh, workflow where we'll be sending the email notifications. So for this use case, I'm going to go back to the already created form, and I'm just going to show you how we have created it. Essentially, we want to go to the workflow page again, standard stuff, edit this application, workflow, and we want to create a new workflow. Here, again, same thing. I want to run it on grievance. I want to send an email notification, not every time a record is created or edited. You can go ahead with that as well. But in our use case, let's just say I want an email notification whenever a new record is created. I'm going to say go ahead and say created. And in this case, when to trigger the workflow, this is definitely after the user has submitted the form, right? Once the user has submitted the form, I'm going to take each of the field in the form and I'm going to uh, send the field and the value of the field as an email to the administrators. So it's going to be after the form submission. On successful form submission, I want to trigger email notifications to the admins. So let's go ahead and say successful form submission, and we're going to name the workflow as send email to the DRIs, directly responsible individuals. So let's go ahead and create the workflow. And here we are going to add a new action. And here when we say add a new action, we are popped out with some of the options here. So let's choose the relevant one. So the first one is notification, and we want to notify through email, SMS, or redirect to URL. I think this one sounds similar to what we want to do. So let's go ahead and say that here, send email, send SMS, show success message, and so on. So we're going to go ahead and say, I want to send an email from. So we're going to say from is going to be your user's email address. And then to, you can say as the admin's email address. And we can edit the record and we can edit the subject and we can click save. Again, in this case, I'm just going to show you a workflow that we've already created. Uh, just a moment. Not sure what happened there, but yeah. So we have created the same email notification already, and you can see a new grievance is submitted. Hi, a grievance is added. Please click here to take an action on it. And you can also embed an URL to the word here, and it's going to redirect them to the application where the DRIs can take action on the particular submission. And that's how you can create a form. You can configure the fields based on your preference, making things easier for both the administrators and the end users. And you can also trigger email notifications whenever a new submission is added. So that's your forms basically. And now we look at how to create customized reports, right? The second component of custom applications. So as we already mentioned, whenever you create a new form, the master report that contains all the records to the form is automatically created. In this case, the all grievances. In addition to this, we went ahead and created two different reports, the HR view and IT view for our use case. And let me show you how exactly we can do that. Again, standard stuff, right? Whenever you want to configure something, you can go to edit this application, and then we want to create a new report. We want to add a new report. We can always, you know, uh, equate adding to the plus symbol. So we want to look for the plus symbol here, and we're going to click add new. And it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to create the main component form, or the second component report, or the third component page, or you want to configure something using the workflow. Let's go ahead and say, hey, I'm looking at creating a new report, and there are some different options here. I'm going to choose the first standard option, that is your list. So let's go ahead and say that. And I want this report to be based on the grievance form. So let me go ahead and choose the grievance form, and I'm going to name it the first category. That is your HR view. So let's go ahead and create that. So once you create this, now I want to show you how you can configure it using the already created HR view. So in this way, you can create your HR view report and the ID view report as well. As soon as you have created a form, you can now, this form by default will act as a master report, meaning all the submissions in your grievance report, grievance form will be present in your HR report as well. Then you may ask, hey, how do I ensure the grievance records with the specific categories are displayed for the specific reports? We'll accomplish that using the report properties. So once you click the report properties, we can see there are two filters added here. The first is for displaying the grievance records with the specific category. So we are simply saying the category equals HR. So whenever the category field equals the value HR, we are going to show that field. And then the second filter has to do with the second approval that we initially spoke about. So whenever a new record is added, the first level of approval from the admin is created, meaning, hey, a new record is submitted. I'm going to review it and send it to the relevant category people. So in this case, only when the admin has reviewed it and sent it to the relevant category will they be able to see. And that is exactly what this filter does. So we want two filters for this report. One is the category has to be equal to the HR, and I want the status to be equal to reviewed. So here we need to have the status as reviewed. So only when a record satisfies both these criteria will they be displayed in your HR view. And if you look at the IT report properties, that is going to have the same as well. Hey, the category has to equal to the IT, and the status should be equal to reviewed as well. So even for the IT report, only when the admin reviews the record and sends it for approval to the relevant category, will the relevant DRIs from the category can take action on it. That is your HR view and IT view reports, basically how you can create them. And you can also use this configure fields for web area to rearrange your existing fields or also add new fields to your report as well. So that is your reports. Now you may wonder, hey, Aravind, I have created these reports. I have also created, filters for this report. I have configured the reports. Now, how do I ensure the HR DRIs access the HR report, the IT DRIs access the IT report, and the admins access the master report? And that we are going to accomplish using the permissions option in our custom application. So how you can configure permission from in this page, we're going to go to the settings. And under settings, you can go to the users. And in this page, you have the option to set up the permissions. Again, in this application, I have created several permission sets here to show you how it works. So let's start with the end user, right? So we have the end user permission set. And once you click on it, it's going to show you so many options here. But don't worry, I'm going to make things simple, a lot more simple for you. So this is the user permission set here. And then uh, these are the module permissions that this particular permission set has. I mean, any user who has the user permission set can only have access to these, meaning, hey, under the grievance form, an end user under the grievance form can access the form and can look at, let me just go ahead and zoom out here, can look at my grievances. So they're basically accessing the form and they're only able to see all the grievances that they are submitting. You can see the master report, all grievances. No, they don't have access to that. HR view, the one we created and the one I created earlier to show you, all of them, they do not have access to it. They do not have edit access or to any reports. I say you can give them edit access to my grievances if you wish to, or you can configure it in that way. You don't have any permission for deleting and so on. And they definitely do not have access to the admin dashboard that has all the insights about the grievance application. So this is the end user permission set. So I'm going to say update. Now, similarly, if you go to the admin permission set, you can see everything is marked. Hey, an admin can do anything under the grievance form. They can access it. They can access all the reports. They can edit all the reports, delete all the reports. They can import, export, read, write comments, view, modify all, everything. They are the admins. So they have all the access to it. So here, of course, we can give access to the dashboard as well. And similarly, when we look at the HR, it's all decentralized, right? The HR gets to see only the HR view dashboard. They can have access. They can access the form HR view dashboard. They can edit the HR view report as well, and so on. Update. And as it rightly should be, the IT admin also has access to the form only to the IT reports, edit access, delete access, and import access. That is it. Decentralized permission set to make things easy for the administrators. That is what we are going for here. And okay, I have created the permission sets. How do I ensure the actual user gets these permission set? So we can simply go to the users. Let's say Emma Bing, my favorite person. I want Emma Bing to be responsible for all the HR related grievances. Now, you can simply search for the user here under the search bar. I'm going to search Emma and I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to show for the user. You can pick the particular user. Once you select them, you will be asked to choose a permission for the particular user. Now, of course, you can choose multiple users here. And I want to give all these users the HR admin. Now I've given that. And we can see the permission set is changed, HR admins, and all these three users now have the permission set of the HR. So what can they access now? you can reconfirm by going to the HR admin permission set. Hey, they can access the grievance form, HR report, edit HR report, and that's it. Import and export. That is it. You can rest assured they will only be able to see in this application these forms and reports. Now we have essentially configured permission sets, and we have also seen how we can assign the permission set to users in your organization. And one thing that I want to repeat is that all users in your organization will by default have the end user permission set assigned to them. So when you're configuring the end user permission set, you want to be really careful on what it is that you're allowing the end user to see, access, edit, delete, import. So you want to be very careful when you're configuring the end user permission set. And so we have seen how to create a form, how to configure things, how to create reports, how to assign these reports to relevant permission, to relevant users through permissions, create permission sets, assign the permission set to the relevant users. Lastly, we'll see how to create a rich, data rich dashboard that's going to give insight into your grievance application. So again, whenever we want to create a something new, like a form, report, page, workflow, we want to look at the plus icon. So we are already in the edit this application page. You can go to the plus icon, and here again, we are creating a page, and we can also choose from templates something for a later part of time. We are going to go with blank for now, and we are going to name it. Let's go ahead and say the dashboard is already there. Let's go ahead and say admin dashboard just for differentiation. Essentially, both of them will do the same, but yeah. So as soon as you've created the dashboard, and I want to zoom in a little bit, you can see you can create different components in your dashboard. Like, hey, you can create panels such as these. You can create charts, stacked columns, stack percentage, bar, stack bar, line, and so on, gauges, search bar, form, report. So you can even embed a form or a report. So for now, we are going to stick with simple things on creating panels and charts. Let's go ahead and I'm going to create one panel and one chart, and using that, you can get an idea on how to play with different components of the page and create a very rich dashboard for your own application as well. So let me create a new panel, right? So I'm adding a new panel, and when you click on the number, so the number essentially shows something. So we want to display something on this number. So we are going to go ahead and select the number, and here under display, we want to show the count of all the records in this form. So this is a function. So we're going to choose the count function, which will essentially say, hey, I have a grievance form here and I have a list of 10 records, let's say. I want this function to go through the records of this form grievance and tell me how many total records do I have. So let's go ahead and click on count. That's the function. And it's going to ask you which form do you want the function to run on. I'm going to go ahead and say grievance. And it also asks you, hey, do you want a criteria, all records or only selected records? So if you give all records, that's going to be a total grievances received. So just to make things a little slightly complicated, let's go ahead and choose selected records here. Meaning, hey, I want to show all the records that are under review or all the records that are approved. Let's go ahead and say, I want to see all the approved grievances. So in this case, we are simply going to add the criteria for the selected records to be the status equals approved. As simple and as descriptive as it is. And once you give done, you can change the name here from open tickets today. You can change it to, what did we do? Approved grievances. And once you click enter, you can see the changes are reflected here, and voila, the page is done. And I'm just going to add the chart as well here before we go ahead and see how the page that we created looks like. So let me go ahead and create this. And I want to create a chart where it's going to show me all the records versus the records based on the criteria. So I want the chart to be based on the form grievance, and I want to show the category as, so we are going to choose the category here, the x-axis for the category, and we are going to display the aggregate data as well. So we are in the y-axis, we are going to show the count of total records. So it's essentially going to be total records versus your records in a particular criteria. And that's I think uh, okay here. And we are going to go ahead and say done. Now, once you click done, and we want to get out of this edit this application page, and we want to access the application and see how the changes we have made reflects in the actual application. So let's close that, and it's going to automatically refresh all the changes. And here you can see under dashboard, we have two dashboards, the one I created before to show you, the one we just created. And you can see there are totally one grievance that is approved. There are six grievances under the HR category, three in two category. You can also confirm the same by going to your all grievances as well. Yeah, so that is your pages. So with that, we have given you an overview on how we can efficiently build a form, a main component, reports, what permissions are, how you can configure these permissions, how you can create pages. Now, you should be ready to build your own applications and configure it, tailor it based on your specific needs. And we'll also be sure to send you the DS file. So all these custom applications are exportable in .ds file format, dilute script file formats. And after the webinar is over, along with the recording, we're going to be sending you the .ds file using which you can install them. So once you receive the .ds file from us, you can simply go to the access area where you want to install the application, and you can click on plus icon. And if you remember, we created from scratch. Now we are just going to say not from scratch, but we are going to say import ds file, and you can choose the .ds file from your PC that gets downloaded from the mail. So you can choose that, and the grievance application is going to be installed in your instance of Zoho Connect, and you can play around. And a lot of what we spoke today is going to make much more sense when you play around in the actual application itself. And we highly recommend you to do so also. So with that, I've given you a demonstration of what custom applications are, and just want to talk about few things before we open the floor for questions. Our biggest customers, right? So you can see our biggest customers, Max Healthcare, Toyota, as we mentioned earlier. We built one of the grievance applications for Toyota, and they've been comprehensively using custom applications and Zoho Connect in their organization, and they've seen major success in the past years. And we have Canon, we have Sony, HCL, Heritage Foods, and we also have a testimonial from Toyota. Zoho Connect is a tremendous tool to reach out to our employees quickly, clearly, and safely for any company and team communication. And we also have from Market Launcher has enabled our team and clients to collaborate in a much more seamless way. So those are our customers, and we'll just look at the recent, I mean, all the additions of Zoho Connect and the pricing as well. So for smaller organizations, we have starter edition that is priced at $10 per month for 25 users. We have for middle to large enterprises, we have the enterprise edition for $1 per user per month that starts with 10 users. And to get a complete package, to get the absolutely best experience of Zoho Connect, we have the Ultimate Edition, an all-in-one employee experience platform for your organization needs that's priced at $3 per user per month that starts with 10 users. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the questions. And if you have any more questions, you don't have to sweat about it. So you can always reach out to us at support at Zoho Connect, and we're always here to assist you. And yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful session and taking the time to and patiently uh, uh, being in the session as well. So thank you so much, and we'll be sure to catch you in another one of our other webinars that will be focused on a different module. So yeah, until then, have a nice day, everyone, and thank you so much for joining again. Have a nice day.